My childhood best friend seduced my business partner, stole my company's secrets, and left me with nothing. Now they're bankrupt and my own mother says I'm evil for refusing to save them from homelessness. I, 34M, started a business with my ex-partner, 32F, about 8 months ago. We'd been together for 6 years and finally decided to turn our passion project into a real company. Things were going great until my childhood best friend, 35M, came back into my life. Ryan and I grew up together but drifted apart after college. He'd always been the charismatic one. Everyone loved him, while I was the quiet guy who did all the actual work behind the scenes. When he reached out last year saying he wanted to reconnect, I was honestly thrilled. I'd missed having him around. Big mistake. I introduced him to Emily, my partner, and brought him into our business as a consultant. He had marketing experience, and we needed help with that side of things. For 3 months, everything seemed fine. Ryan was bringing in clients, Emily and I were handling operations, and the business was growing faster than we'd imagined. Then Ryan started staying late at the office with Emily. At first, I didn't think much of it. We were all working crazy hours trying to get this thing off the ground. But then I noticed them getting coffee together before I'd even arrive. Private conversations that would stop when I walked in. Inside jokes I wasn't part of. 4 months ago, I came back to the office after a client meeting and found them kissing in the conference room. Emily didn't even try to deny it. She told me that she and Ryan had a connection I could never understand. That he saw her potential in ways I didn't. The worst part? While they were carrying on their affair, Ryan had been secretly copying all our business files, client lists, and proprietary software. 2 weeks after I found out about them, they announced they were leaving to start their own competing company. They took half our clients with them. Emily moved out that same week. Didn't even apologize. Just said this was business, and I needed to be mature about it. Ryan sent me one text. No hard feelings. Bro, may the best company win. My family was weirdly neutral about the whole thing. My mom actually said that maybe Emily and Ryan were meant to be, and I should let them find happiness. My dad told me that in business, this kind of thing happens and I shouldn't take it personally. My sister said I was being dramatic about the betrayal. So I cut them all off. Haven't spoken to my family in months. Focused everything on keeping my business alive. It was brutal. I had to rebuild from scratch. New clients, new systems, new everything. I worked 80-hour weeks for months. Slept in the office half the time. But I refused to let them destroy what I'd built. I poured every dollar I had left into making the company better than what we'd planned together. 3 months ago, things finally turned around. I landed a massive contract with a Fortune 500 company that completely changed the game. Revenue tripled. I hired a proper team, moved into a real office space, started getting industry recognition for innovation in our field. Last week, I posted on LinkedIn about winning an industry award, and that's when my phone started blowing up. First it was Ryan. Called me 6 times before I finally answered. His voice was shaking. Turns out their company was failing. They'd burned through their initial capital. Clients were dropping them left and right because Ryan's all flash and no substance, and Emily couldn't handle operations without me. They were about to lose everything. He asked if I'd consider partnering up again since we made such a great team. Had the audacity to say that what happened with Emily was unfortunate but shouldn't affect business. I hung up. Then my mom called. Said Ryan's parents, family friends, had reached out to her, devastated about their son's situation. She wanted me to be the bigger person and help him out since I was doing so well now. When I refused, she said I was being vindictive and cruel, and that this isn't who I raised you to be. Then Emily texted a long message about how she made a mistake, how Ryan wasn't the person she thought he was, how she realized I was her true partner all along. She asked if we could meet up to talk about us and possibly the business. I blocked her immediately. Yesterday, Ryan showed up at my office. Security called me, and I could see him on the lobby camera, looking completely defeated. Hair messy, wearing the same clothes I'd seen him posting on social media days ago. He was begging security to let him up, saying he just needed 5 minutes, that he was desperate. I told security to have him removed from the property. But here's where I might be the wrong. He brought all the files he'd stolen from me on a USB drive. Said he wanted to make things right and give everything back. Security gave me the drive after he left. I looked through it, and it's not just the old files. It's also all their current client information, contracts, everything. I have their entire business on this drive. I could take their remaining clients easily. Destroy what's left of their company completely. Part of me wants to do exactly that. My family is blowing up my phone saying I'm heartless for not even hearing Ryan out. That he's clearly sorry and trying to make amends. My sister said that revenge isn't going to make me happy and I should let it go. But I can't forget how they looked at me when they announced they were leaving. The smugness. The certainty that they were better than me. Emily's face when she said Ryan saw her potential, like I'd been holding her back all along. This morning, Ryan's mom called my mom, crying, saying their family might lose their house because they'd taken out a second mortgage to help fund Ryan's business. My mom is now saying this is affecting innocent people, and I have a moral obligation to help. I don't know what to do. Part of me feels guilty. His parents were always nice to me growing up. But another part of me thinks about how none of them cared when I was the one struggling, when my business and relationship were destroyed simultaneously. Aita for refusing to help my ex-best friend and ex-partner after they stole from me and their business failed? Update 1. I didn't help them. It's been 2 weeks since Ryan showed up at my office and I made my decision. I told my mom that if she wanted to help Ryan's family, she was welcome to send them her own money, but I was done being involved. That caused a huge fight. She said I'd become cold and money-obsessed, and that success had changed me for the worse. I pointed out that she hadn't said a word to comfort me when I was betrayed and struggling, but suddenly had plenty to say now that I was successful and refusing to share it. She hung up on me. Haven't heard from her since. Ryan sent me an email last week, 10 pages long, going through our entire friendship, apologizing for everything, saying he'd been jealous of me our whole lives, and that's why he did what he did. He said Emily had manipulated him, that she'd been the one to suggest stealing the files and clients, and that he'd just gone along with it because he wasn't thinking clearly. Sure, Ryan. Sure. The email ended with him asking for a job. Any position. Said he'd work entry-level, whatever I needed. That he just needed a paycheck to help his parents. I didn't respond. Update 2. Things have gotten worse. Emily showed up at my apartment 3 days ago. My doorman called up to ask if I wanted to see her, and I said absolutely not. But apparently, she caused a scene in the lobby, crying and refusing to leave until she spoke to me. Building security had to escort her out. She's been emailing me daily since then, each message more desperate than the last. In yesterday's email, she said she's pregnant. Said it's Ryan's baby, but he's refusing to step up, now that his money is gone. She asked if I consider taking her back anyway, despite everything. Said she'd sign a prenup, keep working, do whatever I wanted. The audacity is genuinely impressive. I forwarded all her emails to my lawyer just to have documentation in case this escalates into harassment. Meanwhile, Ryan's parents did lose their house. My mom sent me a news article about it, with a message saying, I hope you can sleep at night knowing you could have prevented this. Here's the thing though. I looked into their situation more carefully. Ryan hadn't just borrowed money from his parents. He'd convinced them to refinance their fully paid-off house to invest in his business, promising them huge returns. He'd essentially scammed his own parents with overinflated projections and lies about clients they didn't actually have secured. This wasn't my fault. This was Ryan's pattern of behavior catching up to him. I sent my mom the documentation showing what Ryan had actually done to his own parents. She hasn't responded. Update 3. Final update, I think. Ryan declared bankruptcy this week. His company officially shut down. All their remaining clients came to my company, not because I poached them, but because I'm literally the only competitor in our niche market in this city now, and they needed services continued. My business is thriving. I've hired 15 new people in the past month. We're opening a second location next quarter. Ryan's parents are apparently staying with relatives. I did send them a check for $5,000 anonymously through a lawyer, with a note saying it was for their kindness years ago, but making it clear it was a one-time thing and didn't change anything with Ryan. I don't know if they ever figured out it was from me. I don't really care. Emily stopped emailing after I had my lawyer send a cease and desist letter. I heard through mutual acquaintances that she moved back to her hometown. Don't know if the pregnancy thing was even true or just a last-ditch manipulation attempt. As for Ryan, last I heard he's working at a retail store and living in his cousin's basement. Part of me feels bad when I think about the kids we were together. But then I remember him kissing my partner in my office, stealing from my company, and smirking when they announced they were leaving. My therapist says I need to work on forgiveness, not for them, but for myself. That holding on to this anger is only hurting me. Maybe she's right. I'm working on it. But I don't regret refusing to help them. They made their choices. I made mine. My family still isn't speaking to me, except my sister who sent a text last week saying, I get it now, after she found out the full extent of what Ryan had done. It's something, I guess. I'm doing okay. Better than okay, actually. The business is everything I dreamed it would be. I'm even starting to date again, though I'm taking it very slow. Sometimes I wonder if I should have been more forgiving, if I let bitterness win. But mostly, I think I just set boundaries and stuck to them. They destroyed my trust, stole from me, and expected me to save them when their own greed backfired. That's not my responsibility. It never was.